Hey, Treasure Hunter fans, Joe Pal Big D back here again with another movie review. My wife and I last weekend went and saw Venom. Yes, the infamous Venom. The movie that is being critically slammed by critics and loved by fans. I saw a thing in there. It's like approval rates like 80 something percent by fans and like 30% by critics. So go figure. Who knows movies better? The people that pay shell out the money to watch the movies, the people just sit back and get to see them for free. I have a tendency to lean towards the people that have to pay for the movie because they have a more of a vested interest in it. But Venom, Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams. I really liked this movie. I thought it was really fun. Very different from your typical Marvel movies been coming out by Disney the last couple years. You know, it's a little bit of departure from that. There was a lot of comedy. There was some great action. It was just a fun movie. You can't take it overly seriously, and I know they made some deviations from the story because my understanding is, and I could be wrong because I'm not really well versed on Venom, but I always thought Venom was a villain, was a Spider-Man villain, and they kind of made him in this movie be more of a good guy. So that was a little bit different take for me. Tom Hardy in this movie was amazing. I mean, someday that guy's got to win an Academy Award for the Best Actor for something, because I mean, he puts out a performance. Has he won one yet? I'm not sure about that, but if he hasn't, he deserves one, because dang, was his performance spot on. He did a really, really good job. He was so enjoyable to watch. Like when he wasn't in a scene, you were like wishing he could come back because he did that good of a job. I have to agree with him in that this movie should have been rated R. I think making it PG-13 was a mistake, and I think with recent successes of Logan and of Deadpool, that an R-rated Venom movie would have done very, 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 very well in theaters. But I think that Sony's scared to do that. It's kind of like Disney. They got their mandate, can't go over PG-13 on these things. So, you know, I think that they feel like they'll get a bigger audience if they do PG-13, so kids can go in there. What studios don't understand is kids are going to see it anyways. Whether they calm their mom to go in, let them sit while when the mother goes into the theater, whatever, or their dad, whatever. Kids are going to see this movie. So I think it's still going to do really well. And again, Logan, wow, massive box office hit. 2 Deadpool movies, both those movies, record selling tickets. I mean, R-rated superhero movies can do really well. You just have to trust the fans are going to come to it. And I think for this movie would have been the case. And it's done really well. I mean, didn't it break like 200 million worldwide over the weekend? So, I mean, obviously it did really well. There's a big fan base for it. And with that kind of money, you know there's going to be a sequel because they kind of left it wide open for one. But still, I think the movie was really good. My only criticism about the movie is, again, A, I wish it was rated R, and B, it's got some pacing issues throughout the movie. There's times where it really, really slows down, and those are the times you're wanting Tom Hardy to come back, because it's like, come back, we need that little bit of comedy in there, because it will slow it down. There's some definite scenes where you're kind of like, wow, let's pick this up here. And there was a lot of stuff in the beginning that happened, but then there was some stuff they didn't explain, and it's really hard for me to say, other than the fact what this one person, and it's not really ruin the movie, but like this person's possessed by a symbiote, and then we go 6 months into the future. Well, what happened in those 6 months to that one guy that was hit with the symbiote? What happened in those 6 months? They never discussed any of that. And the person that's the symbiote is in Malaysia, so like, what was going on for 6 months in Malaysia before this person finally came over to the States? So I would have liked a little bit more of that, but they spent a lot of time on a few of the things I felt that they could have pushed through a little bit quicker. That's my only main criticism, other than the fact that Michelle Williams' hair drove me nuts in the movie. It looked so fake, it was ridiculous. It was just like, why did they use that wig? I think she has beautiful hair as it is. Why they had to give her that long-ass wig, I have no idea. Pardon my French. But it just, every time she was in a scene, it was distracting. It was straight up distracting, and it drove me nuts. But otherwise, I liked the movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's definitely a great, as I like to say, popcorn flick. Go in, sit down, grab some corn, sit back with a drink, and just watch the movie. Can definitely just let everything go in your head for a while and just have a fun ride. I can see what some of the critics are saying, because there's a few actors in the movie that are kind of like, no, their acting's not that great and stuff like that. And I get it. And there's definitely a pacing issue. But I think this day and age, it's entertainment. It's not thought-provoking. If you want thought-provoking, go see a friggin' documentary. But if you just want to be entertained, that's what this movie is designed for, to entertain you for a couple hours. And it definitely did. And I know my wife loved it also. She thought it was a really good flick. So definite thumbs up for this one. If I was to give you my normal review, being 1 red vine being the and 10 being, wow, this is like, they can't make any better than this, I give it a solid 7. I think there's still some areas that they need to do, and I think, actually, another problem I had was there's 2 cutscenes. The first cutscene totally made sense to me. The second cutscene, which is this animated thing, I know it ties into something that comes out later this year, but I would have liked to have seen something else with Venom, or at least something there than just have, a completely separate have part of a completely separate movie being at the end. That kind of, But otherwise, thumbs up. I really like it. You should definitely check it out. It's definitely a thrill ride. It's definitely a lot of fun. You come out of there and there's some really good one-liners in it, and there's some really good stuff that you can just laugh. And I mean, I laughed a lot. So, but that is it for my review. Please click the like button if you want to see, if you like this video. Also, leave some comments down below. Did you see Venom this weekend? What were your thoughts on it? I know there's a lot of people out there that are slamming it, but there's also a lot of people that are really liking it. It's kind of one of those movies, I guess, where critics hate it, but fans are liking it, or at least the general public in general is liking it. So please let me know what your thoughts are. At the same time, click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos by Big D. Click the little bell up there if you want to see get notified whenever Big D puts out a new. I'm talking myself in the third person now. Whenever I put out another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everybody take care. Remember to always live long and prosper. Bye.